Welcome back to the Big Ten Cross Country Championships in East Lansing, Michigan. Well, Eric, time for the men's race, and the Wisconsin Badgers, as we mentioned, have won 13 straight team championships here in the Big Ten. Are the Badgers the favorite to make it 14 in a row today?
Absolutely. The Badgers are the favorite today. They have the three seniors up front. I think the big question mark is going to be who from the team is going to step up into that 4 and 5 spot to help bring home their 14th consecutive win.
Well, if the Badgers would slip a bit, Michigan might be a team that could jump right in there.
Michigan has absolutely proved themselves. They're ranked 11th nationally. They were the top Big Ten team at the Adidas meet. The Wolverines are going to be fighting hard.
Well, how about a team like maybe Indiana?
Indiana will be there for sure with 2 guys, but I don't think they have the rest of the team to put it all together for a team championship.
Well, that's a look at the team competition. Some individuals to keep an eye on will also be involved in that team race, starting with the Wisconsin Badgers.
The Badgers have Mo Ahmed, the defending Big Ten champion and Canadian Olympian, in addition to seniors Maverick Darling, who is the top finisher at the Adidas meet for the conference, along with senior Reed Connor.
And another senior for Michigan, Dan Lowry.
Dan Lowry is an Ivy League transfer. It's his first and only Big Ten race. I see Dan wanting to be there right in the mix with the Wisconsin guys and whoever else is there to win the individual title.
And 2 more seniors from Indiana, Andrew Bayer and Zach Mayhew.
Zach Mayhew has been the top dog for Indiana for most of this season. In addition to fellow senior Andy Bayer, Andy won the 1,500-meter outdoor last year by 0.01 seconds. If it comes down to a kick the last 500 meters or so, Andy's going to be right there. He's going to have great odds to be able to win the race.
A look at the men's championship course, 8 kilometers, 3 loops, Eric.
Well, the men's course is basically the same as the women's with an extra 2,000-meter inner loop. Starts up the same incline that first 500 meters before the first turn. Some of the turns could be a little tricky for runners that get stuck on the inside if there's a large pack sticking together. On the men's third loop, after going by the start area and taking that left-hander on the southern end, they turn off the main path and come up the middle for the last 1,200 meters or so. This is a little bit of a downhill, and if there's still a group together in the front, anytime along here is when we're going to start seeing the attacks. The last 500 meters is the same as the women's, with the last 200 meters being that gradual uphill into the finish.
The men's Big Ten championship record time was set last year for 8,000 meters as Mohammed Ahmed of Wisconsin ran 23:18 at the Illinois Arboretum course. And there you see Ahmed and the rest of the Badgers ready to go for a possible 14th straight team championship. And it's a clean start, and we are underway in the men's competition.
There's only 11 men's teams for cross country, so we got 99 runners in the field. And like the women, it's just kind of getting in position as soon as possible, not trying to get stuck in the back of the pack. Again, the course is really wide, so there isn't too much congestion, but you still never know. Getting clipped, elbowed, that stuff happens, and it's just part of racing.
It'll be interesting to see what the strategy is by the different teams if they send someone out fast to be a rabbit of sorts to set the pace early.
I think it's a possibility with the Big Ten men's distance running. You really never know what kind of pace you're going to get. If you look at some of the outdoor championships running like the 1,500, they can go out slower than the women some days. So far here, it looks like it's a fairly honest effort the first quarter mile or so.
Just a few hundred meters in, we see some teams trying to stick together. Indiana, saw Wisconsin on the right side, some Illinois folks on the left.
Illinois going with the white tops and orange shirts for this year's championships.
This week on BTN.com, don't miss any exciting action. Go to video.btn.com this week and check out our upcoming schedule. Go to video.btn.com for more information. This is the 96th running of the men's Big Ten Cross Country Championships. We're early in the 2012 race, and let's go to some observations from Kara Lentz.
IU got out to a pretty strong start there, right out of the gates, rounding that first turn, kind of setting the pace here at the forefront of that pack. And you'll see bib number 173, Evan Esselink, kind of a little bit further out in front, but right behind them is Zach Mayhew, one of the front runners for this individual title, is right there leading that main pack.
Wisconsin has been the gold standard of men's cross country in the Big Ten the last 2 decades. Their head coach is Mick Byrne.
You'd like to think that we have a shot at number 14. We're going to go out there and run real hard to defend our title. We know that we have that big target on our back. We know that Michigan and Indiana want that title just as much as we do. So we're looking forward to a great competition. The other teams look like they're ready to go. They had great meets at the at the Adidas meet down in Wisconsin. They beat us. So right now the pressure's on those guys. They're ranked ahead of us. And that's a big challenge for us. It's a big challenge for our younger guys to come out there and support Reed, Mohammed, and Maverick. So all in all, I think it's going to be a great competition.
The men just passing the 1 mile mark, 4:43 it read on the clock there as they were crossing that line. Again, Esselink is a little bit out in front of the pack, looking pretty composed, but Wisconsin you'll see right back there, and they're really kind of hanging a little bit, but they are still in front. Those big three that we've talked about, Reed Connor, Maverick Darling, and Mohammed Ahmed are all sitting right there, and they've talked about their pack racing and their pack reading. And when talking with Ahmed, he was just saying how they've been through so many different championships that they're very familiar and they're exposed to a lot of different racing styles. So the way and their ability to read other people in the race is probably a little bit different and even a little bit better than some other teams that you're going to see.
Indiana's Evan Esselink continues to lead the competition, but let's go back to the decision Mick Byrne had, the Wisconsin head coach. Everyone thought he'd run the big three here in the Big Ten meet, but he played it kind of coy and didn't make the announcement until this week.
Coach Byrne had a big decision to make. He could have redshirted Mohammed Ahmed and Reed Connor, bring them back next year for a redshirted senior season, but he announced the Monday before the meet in his press conference that he was going to run those two. Both of them were in shape, they're ready to go, and he just didn't want to risk another year, and it's one of those things. The biggest question was, how was Mo going to respond after training for the Olympics through July? And in talking to Coach Byrne, Mo is as fit as he was last year, if not better. They did drop in the rankings after that Adidas meet, but obviously that was without the two guys up front. So going in today, it's a totally different dynamic on what their team is and what it consists of, and the outlook not only for today's conference meet, but even looking into the NCAAs in another 4 weeks or so.
And now we see Mohammed Ahmed making a bit of a move as he jumps in front of the race ahead of Evan Esselink, a Wisconsin Badger teammate, running alongside. That's Maverick Darling. So two Badgers leading the way now, Darling and Ahmed.
I think the pace is kind of picking up a little bit here. It wasn't exactly a slow start, but looking at the field, we're starting to get a little bit of gap here. We got we have 7 guys in there. We got Peter Gagnon of Minnesota following there, and then we have another little gap before the next chase group there.
What a career for Mohammed Ahmed, All-American, first team All-Big Ten, All-Region last year. But again, the highlight of his summer was competing for Canada in the London Olympics. And Eric, he's hoping that's not just a one-time thing.
For a guy his age to be able to make the Olympic team, that is definitely special. He made the final. He finished 17th or 18th. But I know that's just a stepping stone for his career as a distance runner. I know Mo is really going to be looking forward to 2016 in the Rio Olympics.
Two Badgers continue to lead the way, but we see the maize and blue in that front pack. Dan Lowry of Michigan is a redshirt senior from Philadelphia.
Jay, as we mentioned at the top of the show, Dan graduated with his undergraduate degree at Brown University. He had a year of eligibility left. He was able to transfer to Michigan to use up his final season. Going back to his high school days, he was a great miler. He's been running tough for the Wolverines this year. I know, talking to Coach Gibby, one thing that he pointed out was that he's only known Dan for 3 months, so it's been a kind of a learning curve for the both of them. But obviously, Dan is right there, able to compete with these other guys.
6 runners still setting the pace in that lead pack. Back to the course, Carol Entz.
The men just coming up on the 3,000-meter mark. Mohammed Ahmed in the lead alongside Maverick Darling. Maverick Darling only about 20 minutes away from the campus here in East Lansing from Ovid, Michigan. So when speaking with him earlier, he talked about this is extra significant for him. He's glad to be close to home, and he actually ran on this course when he was a senior in high school.
There's going to be a lot of people from my hometown here. It's a pretty small farm town, so a lot of people are pretty excited about me coming back to Michigan. This is definitely as close as I'll ever get to running back home again, and being it's my senior year, it's pretty exciting, and gotten a lot of phone calls from people back home.
And as the runners round around that corner again, you might hear the wind a little bit on my mic, but that is picking up, and they are running straight into this wind. You'll see that front pack really starting to stretch the race and create some distance between the rest of the runners.
And that really is quite a distance now between the top 6.
Yeah, at the 3K mark, it was maybe 20 meters, and now we're looking at almost a 50-meter lead here from these front 6. I gotta say, I'm kind of surprised to see these guys pushing the pace this early, that the Wisconsin team would not wait a little more, just with the question marks on their 4 and 5. But obviously, that's not the case. They got a big lead here, and they're just moving right along, these front 6.
Again, for Wisconsin, it's Ahmed and Maverick Darling. Reed Connor also there, the third Badger in that group. For Indiana, Andrew Bayer and Zach Mayhew. And for Michigan, Dan Lowry. And then the distance back to 7 and the rest of the field.
And here's our chase pack. I see the 4th and 5th Wisconsin guy there. Illinois has 2. We got Giannis Topfer, the tall guy. And just behind him is Hunter Mickhow with just his blonde hair poking through. We also have Michigan's 2 through 5 in that chase pack as well.
We still have quite a ways to go in this race, but what are the odds of the chase pack catching up with the lead pack?
Well, Jay, the gap that these guys have put on, not even to the halfway point, is just pretty amazing. And I think the resumes of these guys up front are just going to be too strong for any of them to not win.
The men's cross-country championships continues from East Lansing in a moment. While watching Big Ten sports, add to the action with BTN Connect. See all the Twitter activity from around the conference. Get in-game stats and interact with our experts. Join your favorite team with btn.com/connect. Get socially charged. We continue the men's competition, and what's interesting about this lead pack of 6 runners, they're all seniors, so experience playing a bit of a role today.
They are all seniors, and it's going to be interesting to see in a year after all these guys are gone who's really going to be stepping up.
So as all the seniors lead the way, a freshman is running in 7th. He's Matt McClintock of Purdue. He's from Athens, Maine. He's been Purdue's top finisher every meet he's run this year. There you see some of the rest of the field. Again, trying to vie for team points in that team competition. But again, up front, top 6 we've been seeing for quite some time. And those 2 Indiana runners, boy, 2 great runners, Andrew Bayer and Zach Mayhew, the 2 seniors, and they've really put the Hoosier runners on the map.
They've been a dominance for almost 4 years. As we mentioned earlier, Andy Bayer won the 1,500-meter outdoor national championships by a whole 1/100th of a second. It was essentially a dive at the line, and Andy got the win. Teammate Zach Mayhew, he actually won the outdoor championship in the 10,000 meter, so he's no stranger either to winning in the Big Ten.
And they're both Indiana guys. Andrew Bayer from Leo, Indiana, and Zach Mayhew from Terre Haute. And now Bayer and Mayhew have a shoulder in front of the men's race, followed by the 3 Badgers, Ahmed, Connor, and Darling. And Lowry still sticking with that lead pack, running in 6th. There you see McClintock. Now he's given up 7th place to the Illinois runner.
Hunter Mickhow now in the 7th spot. The guys are starting their 3rd loop. To their left is the start area. We're crossing the 6K split. We got 2,000 to go, so it's just going to keep rolling here to see how things shape up, not only in the chase pack, but also from the front group as we see the guys shedding some of the arm sleeves and the gloves. You know, it might be a little chilly at the start, and that helps, but as you get going, it looks like we might have a little bit of sun trying to poke through. The runners do get warmed up a little bit.
Team standings after 6 kilometers. Wisconsin looking for its 14th consecutive team championship with a comfortable lead over Michigan. Again, the Badgers so dominant through the 95-year history of this Big Ten meet. 45 championships for now current coach Mick Byrne, but a long history for Wisconsin. Since the race moved to 8 kilometers in 1985, Wisconsin has won 24 of the 27 championships. Unbelievable.
This is just really getting really exciting here, because it's kind of like everybody wants a piece of the lead here. Maverick going out to the left. Lowry, he was pushing on the right. And we're getting down to the final turn here at the start of that long straightaway after the start. The guys are going to keep bending around to the left and then make another quick turn up the middle.
And the strategy is so intriguing right now. When do you make your move? Don't make it too early. What do you have left?
Well, we saw Coach Byrne back there a little bit, and I'm sure he was giving instructions to these guys just to kind of reiterate what he's told them earlier.
Now Maverick Darling at the point. Again, the chase pack hasn't made up a whole lot of distance from this lead pack, and Darling now is in front of the men's cross-country championship run.
This is the first time that we've seen the guys strung out in single file. I think that wind out of the north is really having something to do with that.
Nearing the final 1,000 meters. Kara, what's coming up?
This is a pretty steep incline. This is probably the steepest incline of the entire course, and they're facing it on the latter parts there. And you see Maverick Darling looking really strong there as he starts that incline.
Well, Darling made the first move, but here comes Indiana's Zach Mayhew.
They're going to make a right-hand turn here, and Mayhew now is taking control in the front. We're coming up on 1,000 meters to go to the finish. Mayhew's in the driver's seat now, but Maverick's still hanging on to his side. Mohamed is coming up on the back. Andy Bear's right there too. I think the guys have dropped Reed Connor now. Dan Lowry's just trying to hang on.
And the defending champion Mohamed Ahmed had the lead for a couple of strides, but now Mayhew has taken it back. Mayhew first, Ahmed second, Bayer third, and Darling fourth, but you can put a blanket over those 4 runners.
Any of these 4 guys are fully capable of winning this. About 800 to go now.
Fans running toward the finish line to get a good look and to see how it turns out. The final stages of the 2012 Big Ten Men's Cross Country Championship, and Mohamed Ahmed trying to make it 2 wins in a row, but again Mayhew this time with a big burst.
Zach Mayhew right there put on a move. He's going to be seeing who's going to come with him. Here's our chase group. We still got 2 Illinois guys. Michigan has 4 of them. Wisconsin, they did have their 4th and 5th in that group also.
And now Ahmed makes the move back to first place.
It's just back and forth here.
Last year, Ahmed passed Minnesota's Hassan Meade and won the title. This year, it's maybe not quite a match race, but lately it's been Mayhew and Ahmed. Now the Indiana runner tries to get around on the inside.
And after that left-hand turn, Mayhew coming on the inside of Mo. He's going to try to grab a draft here, see if he can hang on.
And again, this is Ahmed's first cross-country competition for Wisconsin this fall.
Mo hasn't raced since the NCAA championships last year. That was kind of a concern in my mind for how well he could respond in a race situation, having been that long since he's run on the grass.
Zach Mayhew, redshirt senior, Indiana Hoosiers.
We're making these last turns here with 200 to go. Mayhew's putting in another surge. We'll see if Mo can go with him.
Ahmed trying to stick with Mayhew, but Zach has too much right now. 2 Badgers second and third. That Indiana's Zach Mayhew is really starting to pull away now.
When he got around that last turn, he put his head down and just started driving those arms, and here he is coming up the final incline into the finish line. I think he's got the gap. He's going to do it.
An impressive showing by Indiana's Zach Mayhew, the individual winner of the 2012 men's cross-country race.
Holy cow, what a finish. We got Maverick Darling in second, followed by teammate Mohamed. Third place was Andy Baer. Dan Lowry in 5th, Reed Connor in 6th.
And another Wisconsin runner, Robert Finnerty, with a fine showing. He comes in 7th. That could be big.
Finnerty stepping up huge for the Badgers, finishing 7th overall.
But it's a 10,000-meter outdoor track championship and now an individual cross-country title for Indiana's Zach Mayhew. He's with Kara Lance.
When you finished that last corner there and you saw the finish line, looks like you just put your head down and you went. Take us through what was going through the back of your mind. I mean, you have an Olympian right next to you. Take us through that last stretch.
That's exactly what was going through my mind. Is him and I had been battling the last probably K, exchanging leads. So when I took that lead, I was putting all my chips on the table, and I knew that if I was going to do it, I had to put everything into it, or else he was going to catch me at the end, and I didn't want to get embarrassed like that.
So it's all Indiana, Wisconsin, and Michigan, the individuals in the top 7. Last year, Mohammed Ahmed was the champion. This year, 3rd place. He's with Kara Lentz.
Still your senior season, team championships, you know, kind of just explain the significance of that for you.
Yeah, you know, the Arabs say ليس ما يتمناه المرء يتركه ترجي الرياح بما تشتهى سفنه. You know that you're not going to get all that you desire. But you know, for me, you have to take in the midterm before you take a final. And this is my first race of the year. And I'm happy. You know, I felt like I could have kept going for another 10 miles at that pace. So I'm very strong. We just have to sharpen up the tools and you know, go for a national title individually and team title as well. So very excited. And you know, congratulations to Zach Mayhew.
Coming up, we'll present the